Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Two Guys, Zero Planners, brought to you by Pen Chalet. If you want great stationery at good prices with fast shipping, head on over to penchalet.com. There you can get free shipping on orders over $50 in the US and earn your way towards a free bottle of ink with their Ink Rewards program. So head on over to Pen Chalet, click on that radio podcast link at the top of the page, and enter Two Guys. That's the number 2 guys, all one word, for 10% off site-wide. And thank you to Pen Chalet for sponsoring Two Guys, Zero Planners. So, Urban, we're both kind of on vacation.
Yeah, I'm sort of in between jobs. This is sort of the rest of my holiday. Next week, I'll be in Berlin for a week for my new company, and then let's see how that goes.
So, can your company send me a big ass monitor too? I'll work for them. I'll even go to Berlin for training or a meeting.
Yeah. Do you want the Mac as well?
It wouldn't be the first time I've worked on a Mac. I'm operating system agnostic, man. I'll work with whatever.
I ask for certain things specifically, but not for 32-inch monitors. Here I am.
Every time I stroll across that picture, all I can think is, man, I wish my bosses would give me one of those. But you know what you did get? You got a pen pillow.
Yes, I got the pen pillow you sent me or forwarded to me. Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad it finally arrived.
Yeah, it took a while, right?
Yeah, it did. So how do you like it? I found that the 3 that I still have are really, really nice. I kind of am mad at myself for not bringing them on vacation with me.
Yeah, I mean, they're really nice. So I use them when I take pictures of pens. Other than that, I'm not sure what I should use them for.
I keep one of them on my desk as a whichever my primary pen is for the day. When I come home from work, I'll put it there.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's not sitting in the pen case.
Yeah, I have these small bamboo trays on my desk where around 10 pens fit.
I only have 10 pens now. I've thinned down my collection that much.
Yeah, I'm a bit over that with around 50, maybe slightly more. So those 10, those are just the inked ones. And I say, if they don't fit into those trays, then I don't ink up anymore. And it sometimes works.
That's crazy. I must say I did get a good laugh when I opened up the show doc today, because I saw the sub bullet point for the pen pillow and it made me laugh hysterically.
Yes, so I also posted those images with the pen pillow also to Facebook, and then my wife wrote the following: now you just need a pen mattress, sprung slats, and a tiny pen bedroom. Don't forget the bedspread, because we all know pens get uncomfortable lying on hard surfaces and they get cold if they're not properly covered.
So you know what that means. Somebody somewhere in our community is actually going to take it one step further and build a pen bedroom.
Well, probably someone already has.
I would like to shake that person's hand and then convince them to buy me a drink.
Yeah, they need to share images of it, definitely.
So, have you looked at the pricing on the pen pillows now that he's got his website up and running?
Yes, but let me check again because I forgot.
Yeah, they're about $30 to $35 depending on the complexity of the glass, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, in your objective opinion, where do you feel that sits price-wise?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to... I mean, this is the first pen pillow I've ever had, and I'm unsure. I mean, this is sort of a nice, but to me, fairly useless piece of... I mean, what other people would say about pens, maybe? I don't know. But it is handmade, and looking at those, they look really, really good. So,
right. Like in my case, I don't have a bamboo tray like you do. And under normal circumstances, I only have 1, maybe 2 pens inked up on a daily basis. So for me, they make a little bit more sense. But my first pen pillow was actually from Jonathan Brooks, and it was made out of the same material that my Charleston was made out of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel that 25 to 30 would be okay. I don't know if I feel 100% about $35, but I mean, if he's putting a lot of work into them, I guess that makes sense. Like you though, if it's somebody that already has I'm trying to think of the right term, someone that has a rather well-developed pen storage collection already, then it may not make that much sense. I'm just trying to think of, I'm hoping with the quality of work he puts into them, that the pricing is right on point to actually generate a lot of business, because these are good pen pillows, and I'd like to see them just sell in stupid amounts of numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I it could just work, right? I mean, you have your, I don't know, expensive Visconti pen, and you want to spend a little money on a pen pillow, then you spend more than the €3 that the pen BBS ones cost, right? And you get the nice glass one. So
I was going to take the Visconti example in a little bit of a different take and say you've got people that are willing to pay $700-800 for a Visconti, that those come out of the factory with problems. At least these pen pillows do what they're supposed to right off the bat.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, his name's Adam, right?
I think so. Yes.
I think it's Adam. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he does great work. So who knows? Maybe I'm just completely wrong about the $5 difference in what I think would be comfortable pricing.
Yeah. I mean, in the yet to be released episode of FPC, I also talked about it, and then Anna said, "Ooh, I need one." So.
So speaking of random first things you've received, you finally got your hands on the Diplomat.
Yes.
Well, the Arrow, that is.
Yes. So after, what did we talk about it in the last episode? I think so.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. I think at that time you either were getting ready to get it because it had just been sent to you, or you had just gotten it and hadn't had enough time to actually write with it. One of the two.
Yeah. So afterwards, I had actually 3 people in Germany tell me that they could lend me theirs. And yeah, I now have a first generation one. Those are the ones where basically the cap spins freely, even though it's properly capped and doesn't dry out. Yeah, first of all, Robert, thank you so much for lending the pen to me. I'll write the second convert to dry and then I'll send it back. And yeah, I think I'll need to get one eventually. It's really, I mean, first of all, I really like the design. I've always liked it. Yeah, it is a bit heavy for me. So in the beginning, I had a bit of a problem because I had to grip harder than with other pens, but somehow it works now. And the medium nib on that one is really, really great. So that's the main selling point for me.
See, I like the weight of it. I think we talked about the grip section. I kind of wasn't a fan of it, and I wrote with it a little bit more over the last week.
Yeah,
I'm still not a fan of the grip.
Okay.
But the one thing that's really crazy, it's not that fat of a pen, but in my Garologio, I think that's how you pronounce it, Garologio, I think they're Italian, but the leather pen case that I just picked up, that pen gets stuck.
Okay.
Like, it takes a significant amount of effort to get that pen out of that pen case, unless it is in one particular slot where it's not in between any other pen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have that much trouble with, going back to my Brooks pen, which was my fattest pen in my collection.
I mean, I'm just comparing it to the Leonardo, and it doesn't look fatter than the one. Yeah, and then you have a slip cap, and then you end up with just the cap in your hand.
Exactly. That keeps happening, and I had to go through that pen case and figure out, okay, which slot can I put this pen in to where I can actually get it out without just having a cap come off. And the bands in that pen case aren't that tight. I think that's actually going to be next week's video, and I'm definitely going to do a demonstration with the Diplomat Arrow of how certain pens can get stuck in there.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it's a good pen. I have yet to have it hard start on me, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, I mean, the in general, I mean, that's the third Diplomat pen I've tried, and the nibs have always been perfect out of the box.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I didn't do any work with that one, and the first ink I threw into it was Monteverde Ocean Noir.
Mm-hmm.
So throwing any type of blue-black ink in there is normally setting you up for a hard start if you let it sit for like 5 or 6 days. No problems whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, after the first fill, I got adventurous and put in a light green ink. They're also normally pretty dry. At least Diamine Meadow is. And
right.
That is also not a problem at all. I mean, if I can find a pen where I can use that ink, then that's a winner already.
That is true. That is very, very true. So with both of us on vacation, I had to travel for mine. You got to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
But you put in here, you prepared for a 1-week work trip. So after this vacation, you're actually going to be in Berlin for a week. Is that what's going on?
Yes. So
okay,
it's the first week on my new job, and I'll go visit the company at their office or at the co-working space where they all sit, basically.
Okay. So for me, with such a small collection, I toss all my pens in a pen case and I bring them with me. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, I try to travel light. And so this time, I think I will just take 2 Kaweco Sports. I have my brass one back. I put in a 1.5 millimeter stub. So I can use that to write the headings in my journal or bullet journal or whatever. And then I have an eyedroppered ice sport with Diamine Pumpkin in it, and that I can use to write. And then it's still almost full, so that should last more than a week.
Now, for a 1-week trip, though, you're not taking any ink with you, right? So you're not going to be taking like any cartridges or sample vials?
No, I mean, the one Kaweco for the headings, there's an almost full cartridge in it. I doubt I will run this dry. And the other one, I mean, it's an eyedropper. It's not going to run dry.
Well, to be expected. I mean...
And it's not like there aren't cool shops for pens in Berlin.
I wonder what brand happens to be based in Germany that matches the pens that you're going to be taking.
Yeah, who knows?
No, I don't know. I think I'm just hallucinating.
Yeah, but no. I mean, Kaweco is even nearer. They're in Nuremberg, so that's like an hour
wow.
or an hour and a half drive from Munich. So.
Wow. You know, there are times like these that I completely envy you.
I think Faber-Castell is also close.
I have to drive, like, to get to any type of pen manufacturer, I have to drive 6 hours from Oklahoma City to the middle of Arkansas to go to Newton Pens.
Yeah, but I mean, Germany is basically the size of one state in the US, right? So that's a bit of a different scale.
Germany's pretty significant in size, I would think.
Okay, yeah, but
let me take a look at that really quick.
Still, the US is like bigger than the whole of Europe.
So Germany is about the size of New Mexico, which is about the size of Arizona, which is about the size... Well, that's the state I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Germany is slightly larger than Arizona.
Yeah, and Germany is one of the big European countries.
Wow. So you've got 3 major manufacturers in a country this size.
I mean, we have... What do we... Well, we have 3. Why? We have Mont Blanc, we have Lamy, we have Kaweco, we have Faber-Castell, we have Jowo, we have Bock.
Okay, I was ignoring Mont Blanc and I was ignoring the nib manufacturers.
And pretty sure we have a few more.
Yeah, okay, so you've got more than 3. I was trying to be conservative in my numbers.
Yeah, and here I am, and I prefer Japanese pens, right?
Wow. Yes. I don't know. I completely envy you. I would love to be within driving distance of that much beautiful stationery paraphernalia.
I believe, especially Faber-Castell, I think, or they even build a castle or something. I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
Just because it's close doesn't mean that I ever go anywhere. But yeah, that's a different matter.
Wow, that was kind of a interesting side tangent. Yeah, since down here for 3 weeks, I ended up bringing 3 bottles of Robert Oster ink, and 2 bottles of the diamine, or diamine, however people want to pronounce it, the Gibson Guitar Series inks that they just came out with.
Mm-hmm. Do you like those?
Yes. Well, the 2 that I got, I really like. I haven't told Ron yet, but I'm going to be using those for a giveaway for the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
The 30 ml bottles, I'm going to get the entire set of 5 inks and give away the whole set to somebody. I should probably talk to him about that.
Yeah. I mean, I've obviously, as they're Germany exclusive again, I thought about buying them, but I mean, there's a lot of brown, orange in there, so I'm not sure. I need more of those.
Well, it makes sense for what they're trying to mimic. The Gibson Les Pauls always have a bright interior color that fades to a dark color on the outside. It's just called a starburst pattern.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but looking at it without the story.
Right. For music geeks like me, it makes sense. For the vast majority of pen users, it probably doesn't mean a single thing.
Yeah, at least better than those, what was it, Tasha Jeans inks.
Yeah, those were weird. Those were... Oh, by the way, my hand is completely stained pink right now.
Oh, which, the Tasha pink? Or any other?
Tasha Momo. Yeah. Completely stained my hand pink cleaning out the Pilot Elite.
Huh. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of ink left, right? And then
I wash my hands a lot throughout the day, and I cleaned that pen out yesterday or the day before yesterday, and my hand is still pink.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen my hands when I got the ink out of my Lamy Dark Lilac cartridges. That was a mess.
Oh, I can only imagine. That would... I heard some interesting things about how resilient that particular ink is.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories.
Now I have 20 milliliters or so of Dark Lilac, so I can't complain.
Very nice. Very nice. So you say you picked a new journal, but I see 4 journals listed here. What's going on there?
So my journal is finally down to the last pages. I think I have 5 pages left or so, and I'm now writing really, really big so that it doesn't take too long. And I'm done with it before I have to go to Berlin. I don't want to take 2 notebooks. And yeah, and now I want to need to pick a new journal. Of course, that is, for someone like us, I guess that's difficult.
Yeah. That would be an understatement.
So my criteria, I want something that has better paper than the Leuchtturm I had before.
Mm-hmm.
So that isn't that difficult. I have now 4 different journals that sort of would work in that sense. So there's the Taroko Breeze that has Tomoe River paper that is obviously going to be good paper.
Right.
I have a somewhat cheaper Clairefontaine, my essential notebook, that also has good paper. It's a bit more yellow than I would like, maybe.
Okay, so it's not the coated paper that's streak white. It's the actual non-coated Clairefontaine.
Yeah, somehow those are always yellowish. I don't know why. And then last year, Anna brought some CVS composition notebooks from the US. That's supposedly also pretty good paper. And then, of course, a Midori MD. So
I'm going to click the link on the CVS one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, wait. From like an actual CVS store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some like weird niche brand that happened to share the same name as the store. That makes sense now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I didn't realize they had decent paper.
If someone has tried it out and you pick the right one, then it can be good paper. So yeah, you just have to wait until Les from the RSVP podcast has tried them all out. She basically does that every year, and then afterwards, you know which ones are good or not.
Okay.
Was it less? Maybe it was D. I don't know.
One of those two.
One of those. Yeah. So now I have 4 notebooks with good paper, and I had to come up with some other criteria to decide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the CVS and the Clairefontaine, I think they're out because they're good, but they don't lie flat as easily as the other two. And I like notebooks that lie flat easily.
It's always a big plus.
I mean, the CVS is just stitched, so it's kind of bulky in the middle. And the Clairefontaine, yeah, it's already better, but not perfect. And I don't know. I probably picked the Taroko because that has white paper.
Well, there are worse reasons to pick a notebook.
Yeah.
At least you're not picking Moleskine.
No. I don't even know how to respond.
I was about to say, I think that's the closest to cringing on the show that I've ever heard you do.
Yeah, I think I bought one once, a long time ago.
You know, my very first notebook, getting back into fountain pens, was a Moleskine web book or whatever it was called, with a Kaweco Sport.
Okay.
If the Kaweco Sport hadn't been an extra fine, I wouldn't have survived that notebook.
I can imagine. I mean, they do look good, but with that paper, yeah.
So one more topic for you here, because this one's actually a big one. I read the update that you posted. It seems like you did quite a bit on FPC.
Yeah, so I basically had 2 weeks. So the 1 week holiday and the one last week at work where obviously nothing is going to happen anymore. And I spent some time working on FPC, finally after months. And yeah, so there is this feature in the FPC where I group the inks that people have entered. So if you write in your list Pilot, Iroshizuku, Konpeki, and someone else writes just Iroshizuku, Konpeki, or some kind of variation with or without spelling mistakes in it, then the system tries to figure out that actually this is all the same ink. That feature isn't used in many places yet, so the only useful feature is that when someone gives the ink a color, then everyone else in the system sort of benefits from that already, and they don't have to sort of assign the color. So one person does it, everyone else benefits from it. Yeah, that is of course difficult to get right because everyone has a different idea on how to name things, and then you have the decisions. Do you group everything under Sailor, or is every sort of store brand their own brand, or is it just a line under Sailor, and all those weird things? Yeah, so I spent basically 2 weeks working on that, so trying out some improvement and then waiting 3-4 hours to run it over the whole data set, and then seeing, yeah, that didn't work, and then trying again.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost, it's somewhere between 35 and 40,000 entries already, and it just takes a while. But now it's a bit better, and now it's somewhat, the data that comes out is a bit more reliable, so who knows, maybe I can do a bit more with it then afterwards.
Well, that's actually a good step in the right direction, because one of the reasons I am kind of shying away to actually start entering my inks is I kind of like databases that do the majority of the work for me because I'm lazy.
Yeah. I mean, it could also, with the data being better now, maybe the autocomplete can be more advanced, and sort of, if you've already entered the brand name, it can only suggest ink names from that brand and stuff like that. So
I did bring my coloring with me, so I've got plenty of time over the next 2.5 weeks to get inks entered.
And on my side, I mean, there's still some inks that don't have colors assigned, and yeah, now that it's less and a smaller list, maybe I can just do the rest as well. I mean, I basically did most of them.
So how did you go about doing it? Just finding a fairly accurate swab on the internet and then doing a color picker to find the right hex code for it?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's on a screen, so it doesn't matter too much that it's perfect. because everyone has their screen calibrated differently anyway. So if
Exactly.
you just get the color roughly right, then it's good enough, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially for a database, you just need to be in the right ballpark. If you've used the ink before, you already know what weird characteristics it's going to have.
Yeah.
So the color palette just needs to get you within a couple feet of accurate.
And then one of the features I want to add as well at some point is sort of that you can sort your inks by color so that they are grouped. And then you say, hey, I want an orange ink. And then they're all close together and you can pick one or something.
That would actually be a really cool feature.
Yeah. Well, let me start my new job and then we'll see how much time I have.
I was about to say, going into the new job, it looks like you did a good chunk of work to make up for the lack of time that you may have over the next few months.
And the lack of inspiration I had in the last months, yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, speaking about jobs, of course, I had some very, very nice and sweet coworkers that threw me a going away party last week. And sort of they pooled their money. And then the guy that gave me the present said, yeah, we know that you're into stationery, but we decided not to buy you a pen because that's a very personal decision to make.
Smart.
And instead, they bought me this display case for 20 pence, which is pretty awesome. So it's like this wooden box with a glass window on top, and you have a tray for 10 pence, and then you can take it out, and underneath you can put in another 10 pence. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty thoughtful of them. I can actually also hear the other present that they got you, kind of.
Yes, and then they got me with the rest of the money an Amazon gift card, and I spent it on a microphone instead of a pen, because what I used until now was just a loaner, really, really tiny microphone someone gave me.
It was one step up from using the built-in microphone on your laptop, but 5 steps down from what you have now.
Yeah, I always listen to our episodes afterwards, and every time I can hear your microphone, and then I hear myself speak, and I think, oh, I need to buy a microphone.
Well, to be fair, I also over-engineer a lot of the episodes for all the podcasts I work on. So listening to one of the podcasts, like Hypothetical or Philosophical, or even on BYOB, when that was a thing, I will cut the episodes to where Smart Speed can't really do any work on the episode as is, and Smart Volume can't do any work on the episode as is either. So I'm already running, I went ahead and figured out what the compression algorithms were and everything. And I was like, okay, so this is the compressor I need to use to get everything to where it's already done. And that's why your microphone, because I listened to a few episodes of FPC, and then I listened to a few episodes of Two Guys, and I'm like, what's the difference? And the difference was I was already doing the compression and the back end limiting that podcast players like Pocket Casts, Podcast Addicts, and Overcast will do to the audio. And so anyone that uses those features, that's how they've been hearing your microphone this whole time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to editing this episode tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, 15 episodes in, it's finally time to spend some money on it, I guess.
It took, oh my goodness, it took what, 30 episodes for me to get everyone on the last podcast on the same page as far as microphones go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're fine. Honestly, and the microphone you chose was a good one. And your coworkers were completely awesome for just doing the right thing and getting you a gift card to do with whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
And then getting a neutral pen gift is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is basically telling you, hey, we like you and we know what you like, but still not buying you something that is sort of could be totally wrong, right? This is really, really the perfect gift.
Oh, yeah. My coworkers for our Christmas party that we had, their gift to me was a bottle of wine and a pen display rack.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, dude,
sounds good.
We know the pens you carry to work every day, and there's no way we could top any of those. So here's a display rack for them, and here's a bottle of wine for you to enjoy it. And I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah, sounds good.
Exactly. And it wasn't a cheap bottle of wine either. It was like a $70, $80 bottle of wine.
Wow.
Yeah. I sure didn't drink it like a $70 or $80 bottle. Well, my friend, I think it's been a good episode. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and grab a shot of Bacardi and head off to bed. And sounds like you're going to have a pretty relaxing breakfast and enjoy a day off.
Yeah, we'll see. Either with or without a sick kid. I'll find out soon.
Well, I would say those are always fun, but I don't know.
Yeah, not really.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening. We'll see you here in 2 weeks. Talk to you later, Urban.
Bye.